Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. My dear brothers and sisters, it is the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that as long as there is people of haqq, there are people of batil. As long as there are people following the truth, always there's others. They are following the falsehood. And that's part of our living. And sometimes you feel that you are not belong to the society, or you feel a stranger, or you face an obstacle or problems. You don't have to worry, because the Prophet ﷺ sent a glad tidings for each one of us. Have that feeling, and he said, "Tuba lil ghuraba." Give a glad tidings, good news to those they feel that they are strangers. And Tuba, as one of the meaning of glad news, another meaning is a tree in Jannah. So inshallah, you're going to have an access to your tree in Jannah if you had that feeling, that you feel that sometimes there's problems around you. And in one point, we felt that Canada, generally speaking, is free from what's so-called Islamophobia. We know Islamophobia exists, but we thought that we are immune until that massive gun shoot happened in January 29, 2017 in Quebec. And I visited that mosque right after. And I prayed in a spot where the blood was shed. They clean it, but there's still the mark that a time that was in the carpet of those 6 murders. May Allah grant the reward of shaheed for them. And after that many of us woke up. And that was a waking up call for all of us. Many of those activists, they start working hard until they get that declaration from the government 2 years later to name that day as a national day to tackle the Islamophobia. That's something I will count as an achievement from the collective work. And Muslims start trying, to cover the shortcoming. And instead of they blame others, they blame themselves that we have not represent Islam as the best of the manner, and we have not the much effort as supposed to be, because many of those are ignorant. And many of those, they get affected by the Islamophobia. And if there is any blame, we blame ourselves that we have not done much to clear that misinformation and misconceptions about Islam. Many of effort that been successful, and lately, as maybe you follow the news, that the government mentioned Sister Amira Gawabi as the special aim to tackle the Islamophobia for the federal government, which something that's really good, that considering that it is exist and somebody will try, to do something. Not far, that's what happened here in our city, the city of London, where 4 in the same family that been attacked. 3 generations at one time that's been attacked, and they left us with a broken heart, and they left that little boy with pictures that will stay with him forever. Wherever we try to give support, but damages happen already. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take care of him. After that, people try to make something. And finally, we have a brother Ahmar Khan that been named as the Muslim Community Liaison Advisor at the City of London. There's some of the achievement, but is that all what we are looking for? What we can do? What's our actions? Who are to blame? And what our reaction should be? We living in a time that's named in the Quran as a victory. It's very similar to our situation to what after Hudaybiyah, the peaceful time, the peaceful treaty of Hudaybiyah. And this is our time where people willing to listen. And while we are not utilizing this opportunity, our society is different from any other. And many of the good things outside way better than the bad things. There are many things that is there, but we are not utilizing all of these opportunities. Our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam faced trouble that you cannot even count. None of us faced whatever Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam faced. They tried to kill him 9 times, and they stoned him. And he went to Ta'if, for example, knocking at their doors from door to others, and instead of they listen to him, they send their kids after him. He's a man at the time of the age of 50 years old. And they stone him and they tell him crazy, crazy. Until he was bleeding. And what he was doing at the time, he never cursed them. He raised his hand to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allahumma in lam yakun bika ghadabun alayya fala ubari. Oh Allah, as long as that's not sign of your wrath, I don't care. I'm expecting that. I'm going to face that. And I'm okay with all of this. You see the good heart of the Prophet ﷺ. At the day of Uhud, another hard day in the life of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, after he fell in that trap, and they broke his feet, his front teeth. And after the skull, he get injury, and the helmet get into his face, and they tried to remove it. And some of the Sahaba, they removed it with their teeth. And he was bleeding, and the blood covering his face. And they asked him, they told him, curse them, O Muhammad. Curse them, our beloved. Curse them, our prophet. And he raised his hand. And some of them thought he was going to do so. And he raised his hand at that time, not even after. And he said, Oh Allah, guide them. They know nothing. Guide them. May Allah guide them. Allahumma ahdi qawmi fa innahum la ya'lamun. Oh Allah, guide them. They didn't know. So you feel bad for those that carry hatred against Islam. And what we should do, we should try to reach them with the right way, to correct all of these information. And sometimes I feel bad for them from the false propaganda against Islam in many of the social media and others. But we have to bring positive stories and have to face all of these hatred with open hearts. They cursed the Prophet ﷺ and they called him Mudammam, the ugly one. And he's smiling They told him, you smile in such situation as a reply, this is how you smile? He said, yes. They curse Mudammam and I'm Muhammad. They play with his name and they thought to make him feel bad. And they said, yeah, they are cursing somebody else. They curse him Mudammam and I'm Muhammad. This is the heart of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is what some of what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam faced. What we have faced, nothing compared to what the Prophet sallallahu faced. So all of these should strengthen our heart and should not hesitate that the victory and the support of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is coming, and all of that is there. وَلَكِنَّكُمْ تَسْتَعْجِلُونَ. For 3 years, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam were enforced to leave his home to go to the empty place they called Sha'ab Bani Talib. That's, the valley of Bani Abi Talib, where it's an area, it's empty area at that time. For 3 years, and no complaint. One of the companions of the Prophet went for his personal need to urinate in one area far from the people, and while just he was sitting there, he heard a crack under his foot. When he looked at that, he was happy. He saw dry skin of a dead animal. He removed the dust. He made it a little bit soft by putting a little wire, and he spent chewing that for 3 days and nights. At that time, Bilal found dry leaves. He kept it and hid it with the Prophet ﷺ under his armpit. And he came and he said to the Prophet, I kept it something for you, my beloved. What is that? Dry leaves. And the Prophet ﷺ refused to take it because he doesn't want to have a privilege over others. For what? For dry leaves. That's our beloved Muhammad ﷺ and his companion. They carry all of that for us. What we can pay back to them, we have at least to appreciate what they have done. They have done that for me and you in order for us to say La ilaha illallah. Without their patience, without their stand, we will never have that great blessing, knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and enjoying this beautiful faith. So if we are not standing for our deen, for our faith, how we can carry this beautiful and pure faith to our coming generations? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised, and we have to believe in the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala no matter what happens. If you are expecting the life will be rosy and nice, you are dreaming. The struggle is part of it. And we are there. And we repeat, as Rasulullah said, Oh Allah, as long as all of that, all what happened, all what's happening, all what's going to happen, that's not sign of your wrath, we don't care. We are ready because we know that that is sign of your love. We choose us. You choose us to carry this deen, and we should be ready. And all of that, it's a part of the test. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to pass that test. There are many lessons that we have learned and many reflections that we can bring for what happened. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect our society, to protect the Muslim community, and to protect the community at large. And we are part of this society. What we can do, this is a question, an open question for each one of us, and each one of us has a role to do. At least be good ambassador for Islam. That's how we can clear the image that was drawing for Muslims, and as an ugly image That's our duty to beautify it as our religion. It's the most beautiful religion. That's the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا واستر عيوبنا وبلغنا في الدارين مطلوبنا اللهم نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة آمين.